Okay, fantastic. All right, we
Your
can see it on
screen
our,
is
yeah, we can't
bad.
see it. Yeah. Good morning, guys. Welcome to Motivational Monday. We are joining you from Houston, Texas. We are live. Okay, perfect. We got that now. We are live here in Houston, our final day here, and we have enjoyed our trip. So I want to turn over to you, Robert, real quick to kind of give us a quick idea, a little rundown of what's happened over the last couple of days.
Yeah, look, we came into Dallas and Fort Worth last week and started with an amazing rally. I guess it was Monday night
Yeah.
in Fort Worth. Met some amazing Fort Worth agents. Then we hung out at the Tom Ferry Conference Summit. Got a lot of great information there Wednesday, Thursday. Did a Thursday meet and greet with Dallas agents up in Addison. And then we headed down to Austin, where we had some great meetings and a great meet and greet at the Nextage team hub office there. And then on down to San Antonio, where we planned an event for 60 people and had 180 show up. So we ended up having to overflow into nearby bars at the same hotel and area, but we had a lot of fun there. And then bounced over to Houston, where we are now.
Yeah.
And I had two great events here, a brunch yesterday, and then we did the Sunday night football game last night, the preseason game. And we got a couple meetings today, and then we are flying back home this afternoon. So we're gonna take off somewhere around 2:30, 3 o'clock this afternoon. But it's been an awesome Texas ride. We've probably talked to, I don't know, 500, 600, 700 agents. I mean, it's been
a lot.
It's been a lot over the last 8 days. I am ready to get home to my little girls, though, and my wife, and back to some less heat in Florida because Texas is on fire, both for LPT and in temperature.
Yeah, right. So
got the dad jokes.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. No. So we've got some record-breaking. I think the highest all-time record is recorded yesterday, and today I think it's supposed to be a tie. And subsequently, we leave today, and the temperature goes down tomorrow. So you could say LPT is lighting Texas on fire.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good.
It's all our fault. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was good, man. We've really enjoyed our time here. It's been so rejuvenating to get to see so many people in person who are genuinely, we can't see you right now. So it's been nice to be able to connect with you guys in person and just watch what's happening, the movement that's happening here, and so many like-minded people coming together for the same cause to better their lives, better their business, and truly help the person across the aisle do better. So it's been really encouraging. Texas is amazing. I was getting some text messages. People were like, "Hey man, you guys better not be going texting on us. You better be still true to Florida." I was like, I don't know, man. Texas has got a lot of gratitude, a lot of love here. So we really appreciate the warm welcome. But real quick, I know that there's a recap video, so Dave was able to put something together very quickly for us. We did have a hard drive malfunction. One of our hard drives dropped, and so we lost kind of the first half of the trip, so that is being recovered. So Dave, if you want to give us a quick recap of what the events kind of looked like so far, whenever you're ready to pull that up.
I've been around the world. I've seen some pretty faces, been with some beautiful girls. After all I've witnessed, one thing still amazes me. Just like a miracle, you have to see to believe. God bless Texas. First he let the sunshine, then he made the water deep. Then he gave us moonlight for all the world to see. Well, everybody knows that the Lord works in mysterious.
Yeah, so we had a ton of fun, as you guys can see. We were meeting a ton of agents, and just such a great vibe here, man. It's so cool to be seen. And then we had some uh, hidden talents come through. Uh, yeah, so you probably didn't get a chance to see this, but Dave, if you can roll that next video. So in between all the fun, we also had a little bit of fun. Dave was giving RP some music lessons.
You just want to keep out. Damn. You just want to keep out.
Yeah, that's crazy. But anyways, yeah. So it's been a really good trip, man. Oh, look how many likes you're getting off there, right? People like to see you play the piano. But really been good, man. It's been really good. We're so excited, and it's been, being a friend of Robert's for a long time, watching the glow, watching how excited he is every day to connect with you guys. It's been good, man. So someone was saying like, hey, man, someone who's accomplished all that you've accomplished, what made you come back and do this? You've clearly created a lifetime worth of wealth for you and your next generations. Like, you've hit that mark. What made you come back and work so hard? And it's his passion to push us forward, and you can see it every day, man. So we all definitely appreciate that.
It's exciting. We it was pretty clear that we won Florida very early, and then we knew the model was really going to take off there. And now seeing Texas, actually, I was telling some folks, it looks like Texas is going to pass Florida this month as our fastest growing state. And so Florida has held that record since we launched. And so to give you some idea of the arc, the first couple of months in Texas, we had about 35 agents a month joining, and then that doubled and went to 70 agents a month joining, for like April, May, June, July. And now August is looking like over 200 Texas agents are going to join just in the month of August, which is fantastic. And so percentage-wise, that is blowing out everywhere else that we've got going on. So really exciting. A lot of opportunity for growth in Texas. And, once we get Texas going, we're going to start looking at other states to go visit next. But it's been a lot of fun. We're in 7 states now. Our 8th state of South Carolina will be coming online sometime in the next, I want to say 2 to 4 weeks, something like that. So South Carolina is imminent, which is really exciting. On that state expansion note, there's a topic I want to cover real quick. I've seen some posts where people are claiming to have our roadmap for expansion, and I understand where it came from. So I made a Facebook post asking for brokers. We're looking to hire brokers in a series of states. And I called them states of interest because they are states we are interested in. And then some people decided to take that and republish it as our expansion roadmap, which it absolutely is not. And twisting something I say is not really great for the brokerage, because now it's gone viral because everyone believed that maybe that person who had it up initially had some inside information. So I want to make it clear to everyone right now, that list I put out there is states we are interested in, and it is states we need brokers in. There are other states where we already have brokers, so they will actually open sooner. So that is not the next list of states to open for LPT Realty. Over the next year to 18 months, we will open all of those states. We're going to be in another 20 states over the next year, but some of those states may not open for a full 12 months that were on that list. I put out a post. I thought I was clear. These are the states of interest. These are states where we are interested in meeting brokers. But again, that was not an expansion roadmap. That was not the next 9 states that we're going to open. It's interesting. I had some people call me and say like, hey, my state's not on your expansion list and you hired me as a broker. What's going on? And it's like, yeah, this thing all got twisted. On one hand, I'm glad I put the post out because we were able to connect with some amazing broker candidates, but it is a little frustrating that then that got turned into an expansion roadmap, which it absolutely is not. Some of those states may take a full year to launch. And so, while yes, they're all on our expansion roadmap. All 50 states are actually on our expansion roadmap. And over the next, 24 to 30 months, we're going to open all 50 states in a couple of countries. But we just need to be really careful with that. I don't want to be setting false expectations for people, or, people believing that we're going somewhere sooner that we are not. Again, just because we are interested in interviewing brokers somewhere and looking at states, there's a lot of analysis that goes into that. The performance in our existing states has a lot to do with when next states will open. This isn't a Rubik's Cube that we are constantly playing with at corporate to make sure that we hit the goals, that we open the states in the right cadence, the right tempo, And I don't want people getting upset when it looks like we locked in this 9-state roadmap, which we in no way did.
Yeah.
I put out a list of 9 states that we needed to meet brokers in. Again, there are other states where we already had the brokers identified, so they weren't on my list. And those states are actually further down the road. So again, don't take that as where we're going next, or think that a state that's not on there is not happening, or that those are the states that are necessarily happening next. That is just where we're looking to meet brokers.
Yeah,
so
absolutely right.
yeah.
Yeah, and again, we're very fair about making sure that you all receive the information at the same time. So there is nobody who's got the inside track on where we're going. Again, that decision's made by Robert in real time, and so no one has that insight. So I just want to make sure that everybody knows we don't want people to. We get the excitement. You want to get a jump start on it, which is fantastic. We love that, but we just don't want it to come off the wrong way, like Robert said. So appreciate that clarification. Real quick, if we can jump right over into some of the additional topics. It's been a big question around the 99% financing with Zillow.
Yeah.
I saw that there's been a couple of posts about it. Even I think Ryan Serhant kind of came out there and was getting a lot of traction, where he was like, hey, this is a bad thing that's happening. And he's kind of giving a spin on it. And it was a highly engaging post. And there's a lot of misconceptions about what that really is. So I was wondering, Robert, if you could kind of clear that up and give us an idea of maybe what exactly that program is, and maybe how you think it impacts the market.
Yeah, I think it goes back to this, like any opportunity to villainize Zillow is a great way to create clickbait, is kind of what we're seeing. So this 1% down program, this is actually something that Matt Ishbia at UWM, United Wholesale Mortgage, really pioneered and made popular. And so the way the program works is it's still a 3% down mortgage. There's still a 97 loan to value, so that the consumer has 3% equity, but the lender is actually able to gift them 2% of that down payment through the profit in the rate. And so UWM was actually the first to put this out through mortgage brokers. And then Rocket followed suit. So all of a sudden you have UWM launching it, you have Rocket launching it, and no one really talks about it. Mm-hmm. And then Zillow's mortgage company then decides to offer the same program, and it becomes this clickbait. Right. They're going to melt down the economy. The biggest part of this that no one mentions, which is really telling, is this is an affordable housing product. So the consumer has to be at 80% of the average median income for the area. And so in a lot of areas, that's a household income of like $40,000. This is a complete affordable housing product. In most cases, the homes are going to be priced between, $250,000, $275,000, maybe $300,000, depending on area. And so this is not that now everyone can put 1% down and we are screaming back toward a financial crisis like the one we had in 2006 and 2007. Right. This is a series of companies, large mortgage companies, UWM, Rocket, and Zillow Home Loans, that are now offering an affordable housing product where they are helping consumers in that low income bracket, 80% of the median income, be able to buy homes with less money down. And so I think it's unfortunate when someone tries to take that and again twist it, make it a sensational headline without giving all the facts. Because if you explain the whole thing, it's not nearly as sensational. Right. You don't get the outrage when you explain that it's an affordable housing product, and that UWM and Rocket and mortgage brokers and a lot of other lenders have been doing this. But again, Zillow is a firebrand. They're going to attract controversy at every turn. And so, but again, it's getting a lot of headlines right now. But just, again, it's important that we as agents educate ourselves, understand the truth behind it, which, yes, this is a loan program. It's not exclusive to Zillow. It's not exclusive to Rocket. It's available through probably every mortgage broker in the country because UWM offers it. Mm-hmm. But it is a great program for those that do meet that affordable housing band. Not much different and not quite as good as the Homes for Heroes program that just ran out of money in Florida. Right. This was a more aggressive down payment program for first-time home buyers. Originally, it was only for first responders, and they opened it up to everyone. Those funds have been exhausted as of last week. But housing attainability is important. And if we look at the current situation with home prices continuing to escalate, mortgage rates now being at this crazy high level, first-time home buyers and lower income home buyers are being hit the hardest. And so I personally salute companies that are willing to be creative and try to help folks that need that help be able to finance homes. And I think it's an obligation that we have as an industry. We obviously can't fix it for everyone. There are folks that maybe aren't in a position right now to enjoy home ownership, but for someone who is, to make it a little easier to attain that, I personally applaud. So I think that, UWM and Rocket and Zillow Home Loans, having this program and making this commitment is good for the industry.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. And again, to your point, the headlines are just to, you know,
Right.
grab attention.
Everybody wants
yeah.
the engagement, the
Right.
clicks, the likes, the
Yes.
shares, the comments, the
Yep.
outrage.
Yep.
You know, it's I try not to play in that camp.
Yeah.
You know, like my social media's got pretty good reach, and I very rarely am inflammatory. It's really got to be something crazy, and I try to make sure I give all the facts when it is. But.
Right, absolutely. So excited that you were able to clarify that. Oh, look, the sun came down a little bit. We look a little less blown out. I'm like, that's not even my complexion on there. There's a big glass wall right here. The sun is right over there. So if you guys are seeing us a little blown out, that's what's happening. But yeah, so that's really important to understand. So as you see people, one, you should utilize that as a tool if it makes sense for your buyers, if you have anybody in that camp. And then two, dispel it in the event that someone starts talking about it, you know the real deal. Do a little research for yourself so that you know it's fact. And obviously Robert's gonna say it accurately as well too, but just so that you're aware. Okay, so let's go over real quick. Last week of the month, hoping that you guys can close it out strong. We have the August listing blitz through the end of this month. And so remember, you can book your shoots through the 31st, even if the date that the property is shot is after the 31st, you just need to book it between now and the 31st.
Yeah, order and pay for the photography or order it through support by the 31st. That's the deadline. You need to sign listing agreement and you got to get the order in. And then again, if the photography doesn't get scheduled for a week or so and the listing doesn't go live until mid-September, that's okay. But the listing agreement and the order for the photography has to be in by the last day of August to be part of the blitz. And it's been really interesting to hear people's feedback on the blitz.
Yeah.
We've spent time with a lot of agents here in Texas, and one of the things I heard a lot was, "Oh, I really thought this print marketing was dumb or wasn't going to work until I used it."
Right.
And and the first time I took a power pack on a listing appointment, I was blown away by the seller's reaction. We've heard people say that they have not missed a single listing appointment since joining, as far as getting the seller to commit, which was not necessarily the numbers they were batting before listing power tools. Other people have said, I didn't really think about it, but as I look, all the local boutiques in our market who control the bulk of the listings, they're all using print. But I never was, and now here at LPT I am. So it's really interesting. And one of the stories I talked a lot about is when I first launched listing power tools, there was this statistic that 10% of realtors controlled 90% of listings. And that just seemed really unbalanced to me. And so the idea was, how do we create tools to help more agents be able to succeed and win with listings? Because I'm a firm believer that you need both to have a well-balanced business. And the L in LPT stands for listing.
That's right.
And so one of the things that happened is in the original listing power tools, because we had that monthly fee, when a year into it, when I looked at it, it was all the 10% that were buying the product, which was not the original mission. And that was part of our motivation to become a brokerage, because if we can give the tools to all of our agents for free and then win when they win by actually getting a listing, getting a closing, now we can start to push these amazing tools down to help more agents be able to succeed with listings. And so to hear the stories from people in Texas who maybe had not seen listing power tools, a lot of our Florida agents had seen it before, we're kind of aware of it. The impact that it's having on the business has been amazing. I sat down with one agent and he said, I don't want to show the box to I don't want to recruit because I don't want to tell any other agents in my market about the box. And I said, well, look, they're going to find it eventually. And I tell a lot of people this. I said, you can either lead them to LPT or someone else will, and then they will follow them to LPT. And so he's like, I'm gonna go show the box. And so he actually did a really cool thing. He reached out to a local broker and said, hey, I have this amazing listing presentation, this amazing marketing. I would like to come present it to your agents and have you guys tear my presentation apart. I want to come be vulnerable and give you my listing presentation, and then I want you guys to pick it apart and tear me apart. And the broker said, well, man, you better have some thick skin because we're gonna tear you apart. But he's gonna go give that presentation, and my gut says he's gonna walk out of there with an entire brokerage of new LPT agents.
That's right.
But I thought that was a really creative way to set an appointment to say, hey, I'm a newer listing agent, and I'd like you to pick my listing presentation apart, knowing he's going in there with a powerful weapon. But just hearing all the stories of the success on the listing side, how beneficial our training around listings has been, how beneficial the tools on the listing side have been, has been really cool to hear as we've been traveling through Texas. And again, that's what the listing blitz was all about. Yeah. We've had a lot of people that succeeded with the listing blitz, knowing that they can go in there with all of these extra marketing weapons and earn that business. We've heard a lot of stories from people who had their best listing month ever in August here at LPT, which is not representative of the general market.
Right.
Overall, headline after headline is that there are less homes listing in most markets. And so the fact that we are winning more listings is a testament to y'all's commitment to the process and utilizing the tools and getting them out there in your market. We talked about the 60-day challenge, go show the box to 60 people in 60 days. That's actually part of what motivated this agent to go set that appointment to give his presentation. A lot of really fun things happening across the LPT ecosystem that all revolve around you winning by being more successful in your real estate business. And that's what we're here to do.
That's right. And you said something recently about a correlation between the conversations and the pieces in the box. You want to expand on that real quick? I thought you framed it in a way that I hadn't really heard before in terms of, each collateral piece is a conversation.
So we were at the Tom Ferry Summit, and they talk a lot about goal setting, right? So if I want to have, 10 listings this year, then how many listing appointments do I need to go on? And I joked and I said, well, if you're at LPT, you only need to go on 10 because of the box, but if you're somewhere else, you may have to go on more. But no, in all seriousness, right? How many listing appointments do I need to go on? And then to get those lists, let's say we need 20 listing appointments to get 10 listings. Well, then how many conversations do I need to have in order to get the 20 listing appointments? And this is the kind of method that Tom Ferry Coaching uses to move people down. So you can set the goal you can control. Because if you think about it, you don't really control getting 10 listings, but you can control having 200 conversations. And so if you know that if I'm willing to commit to the process and have 200 conversations, then that's going to turn into roughly 20 listing appointments, and that will turn into roughly 10 listings. And so you got to work that backwards. And so something we have here is we have this amazing box that has 168 pieces of printed collateral in it, which I think of as 168 conversation opportunities, right? If you commit to yourself that every piece in that box you're going to try to turn into a conversation, now you can have 168 conversations. If you have the prospecting pack, you can have 320 conversations. But if we start to think about it in those terms, because the actions we take out here, the big action we take out here becomes the next goal, which is the listing appointment, which becomes the ultimate goal, which is the number of listings. And you can do the exact same math on the buy side. How many conversations you need to have in order to have a buyer consultation, how many buyer consultations you need to have in order to get someone under contract. But if you think about the collateral marketing system that we've created here at LPT, that's the power packs, that's the magazines, the flyers. When you order those packages, we don't just give you the final magazine, we give you other pieces, the previews, the summaries, which are opportunities to have conversations, to move someone down the funnel toward the ultimate magazine, which is more of that listing presentation to turn it into the business. If you think about all those as opportunities for conversation that we are helping you create with the tools here at LPT, it's just a great framework to think about it in. And so that was neat to hear, kind of as the Tom Ferry coaches and speakers were talking about the way they think about this and how well LPT fit in with it. Another big kind of a thing they talked about was when one home sells, it creates more listings in an area. And it's kind of the reverse of frequency illusion. So we've all seen this before. If you're thinking about buying a red Dodge truck, all of a sudden you see red Dodge trucks everywhere. And this is called frequency illusion because you're thinking about something now, so you see it more often. And so what happens is when a home in your neighborhood goes up for sale, people see that, and now that frequency illusion kicks in, and any inkling they had to potentially sell their home is now magnified. And all of a sudden, everything they're noticing online in their mailbox is related to home selling because that one home in the neighborhood going up for sale created the frequency illusion. And so again, this is the logic behind listing power tools is you are auditioning for all of those additional sellers who will list once the first home goes up for sale. And so the better job you do distributing the door hangers, the flyers, the postcards, the business cards, no matter how worthless you think one of those pieces is, that's probably the most important piece for you to use in your business. Because I will promise you there was someone out there having success with every single piece of collateral in that box. And so if you're a really great, I love door hangers, I love door knocking, but I don't write thank you cards. Well, you just told yourself how to improve your business. Start writing thank you cards. Or you say, hey, I love the thank you cards, but I'm not going to go put out door hangers. Again, you just told yourself how to improve your business. Start using the door hangers.
That's right.
If you embrace every one of the 168 pieces in that box as an opportunity to have a conversation and a different type of conversation, and maybe a conversation that you wouldn't normally have because, well, I don't do that or I don't do this, I can promise you every piece in that box is effective and works. And there is an agent on this Zoom call right now who loves each one of those pieces as their favorite. So the very thing that you're saying doesn't work because of your limiting beliefs, someone else is out there crushing it. Well, I don't see the business cards having a purpose. I don't know what to do with those. And somebody else is saying, man, every time I get a listing, I make that house my business card and I give the seller a stack of those business cards and it's the best thing ever. Right. And so if you can adopt that and understand that anything in that box that you believe doesn't work is your own limiting belief, because I can promise you there is someone else at this brokerage crushing it with that very piece that you think doesn't belong or you wish you didn't have to deal with. And if you will just challenge yourself to embrace the system and trust the process and have all 168 conversations, you will see your business blossom and go to heights higher than it ever has before.
That's right. And so something that you've started saying over the last couple of days, which I love, which is, teach the monkey to sing AC/DC.
Yes. So Tom Ferry put up this graphic, and it's I guess he got this from Google. When they think about their moonshot projects, but the goal is to teach a monkey to sing AC/DC while standing on a 3-legged stool. And the point of this is to say that when most people take on a task like that, the first thing they're going to do is build the 3-legged stool, right? Because building a 3-legged stool is easy. Teaching a monkey how to sing AC/DC is very hard. And so if you spend a lot of time and money building the 3-legged stool, and then now it's time to teach the monkey how to sing AC/DC, and that cannot be done. So now the 3-legged stool is worthless. And so the point of that thought exercise is to say you have to start with the hardest thing first. And so building the stool is easy. Teaching the monkey how to sing AC/DC is hard. And so the way you want to approach a challenge is to try to teach the monkey how to sing AC/DC first, and then we'll go build him a stool or buy him a stool or whatever we need to do. But a stool without the singing monkey is not the challenge, it's not the task. And so again, take whatever piece in there you like the least and start there and figure out how to make that a part of your business to overcome the hard parts. Because a lot of us will focus on the easier thing first, and then when it comes to the hard thing, we lose traction.
That's right.
And so I have, since I saw that at the conference, I have probably said that 20 times.
Yeah, to me.
Over the last 5 days.
Matt, you're doing it backwards.
Yeah, I'm like, you're backwards, man. You're building a 3-legged stool. We got to teach the monkey how to sing AC/DC first. So that was a really cool takeaway. Some other cool stuff. One of the big thing Tom talks about is R&D. Which is rip off and duplicate.
That's right.
And it's actually something that Dan Kennedy, I think, kind of pioneered, a marketing guy that I followed for a long time. And so it's interesting, we're sitting there and Matt Levy was kind of offended by this. And he's like, I just don't like their language. That speaker saying rip off. I don't really like the way that sounds. I said, it's actually part of like Tom's language. And Matt was like, whatever. So then we walk into the conference the next morning and Tom's on stage and he's like, you're going to hear me say this a lot. R&D, rip off and duplicate. And I just kind of laughed at Levy. But what I love is he's basically saying, hey, you're going to see all this cool stuff that gets presented up here. And we encourage you to rip it off and duplicate it. And so we here at LPT are going to strategically rip off and duplicate some really cool stuff and make it available to all of you. So there were some really neat tactics that we picked up on, some really neat marketing strategies that we've already got the team thinking about how we can put into Desi, how we can make that available to you. And it was fun, man. I haven't been to a conference like that in a while, and it really did get the creative juices flowing. We saw a lot of ideas and said, well, hey, let's take a little piece from this and a little piece from this. And I think we can build something for our agents that'll be really impactful, that is aligned with how we think. And that's one of the things I do like about Tom Ferry and his coaching style is it is aligned with the way I think and the way we've positioned LPT. They are fans of print. They are fans of direct mail, the collateral marketing, getting face-to-face with people. Like, we all embrace digital, but there are coaches that are literally trying to take everyone 100% down the digital path and almost, telling people that print doesn't work, which is this massive fallacy. Right. And I love that that group is really, they're open to all of it. And I get it. The barrier to entry in print is higher. And so a lot of coaches don't like to teach it because in their mind, if you go spend a bunch of money on print, you'll have less money to give them for coaching fees. But I was nice to see a really well-rounded presentation. And again, for us to be able to take ideas from that, because all marketing works. And what I love about print is it's sticky, it's there. Making phone calls is great, but it's ephemeral. When the phone call hangs up, they probably don't remember you. There's nothing left behind. Where with a door hanger, a magazine, the active marketing plan, even if they're not interested today, there's a good chance that piece hangs around their house and they may reach out to you again in the future. And so there's a stickiness and a staying power to print that no other marketing medium can compete with.
That's right. That is right, man. That is Perfectly said. I mean, there's nothing I really even to add to that. So hopefully you guys take the time to digest what he's saying. Go back and listen to the replay. There's really a lot of truth to what he's saying right there. Sometimes it takes a little while or hearing it multiple times for it to really make sense for you, but there's a lot of truth to what he's saying. So one final thing I want to leave you guys with, a big topic, and we don't have time to really cover in depthly today, was around AI and how to utilize AI to benefit your business. And so we're probably going to make that a Real Estate First Friday topic. Going a little bit deeper inside of there. There was some really interesting things that we heard. Again, we don't really have time to go through it right now, but really gave us some ideas internally on how we can start presenting you with some of that information and some ideas that Robert has on the best way to utilize that inside of your business to kind of leverage some of those things that are not the highest and best use of your time and allow you to concentrate on those harder things that you may not want to be doing. And so we will probably go through that this Friday, if not the following week, but we'll talk about that piece and talk about one thing that also I thought was really interesting was the concept of how many hours it spends to talk about to work with a buyer versus a listing, and then what should you be doing with the delta between those. So all of those tactics we'll talk about either this Friday or following week Friday, hopefully this Friday, to go through and kind of give you an idea or framework of how to organize your time as you're thinking about maybe trying to take on more listings. If it frees up more time, how you use that to get more listing and to really spin that wheel. So any final thoughts for you, Robert?
Yes, again, guys, we are winning. We are scaring the industry. As my dad, who flew helicopters in Vietnam, told me, they don't shoot at you until you're over the target. We are over the target. We are a threat to the incumbent brokerage's way of life, and you're gonna get hate for that. You're gonna get pushback for that. Just know that what we're doing is revolutionizing this thing, and it is for the good of agents, which it should be. And as we bring costs down and bring more tools to the market, we're ruffling feathers and we're changing the game. And I love each and every one of you. I appreciate you being on this ride with us. Know that it's going to get bumpy. You're going to take some heat from other people. We're seeing the heat turn up in Texas in some crazy ways from competitors. Reminds me of some of the early days of Florida. Know that the arc will surpass it. The bigger we get in a market, the less noise there is, because we start to be too big for people to treat us that way. But early on, there's a lot of attempt to kind of shut us down. We've seen that come from vendors. We've seen it come from other agents, other brokerages, and LPT is here to stay, and we're here to win. And I believe in each and every one of you, and I appreciate you believing in us and the vision. And just know that we are not going to stop. We are not going to fade off into the night. They are not going to force us out of existence. We are going to win, and we're going to revolutionize this game, and we're going to put a lot more power and a lot more money and a lot more opportunity back in the hands of the agents, which is where it belongs. And that is what we are completely committed to as we build out this amazing brokerage for life. So thank you all for being a part of it. Thank you for tuning in here this morning and joining us every Monday morning. Florida agents, y'all need to kick it up. It looks like Texas is on a roll right now, and we need to kick it up a little bit in Florida. But other than that, guys, let's keep growing together. Let's keep winning together. And I'll be back in Florida this afternoon. And again, everybody have a great week. We'll see you Friday on Real Estate First Friday.
Oh, he got the listing?
I got all right, one more story to tell. So Robert Salazar came to our San Antonio rally, and he was going on his first in-competition listing appointment in a long time. So he was telling me that most of his listings have been like referrals, friends, and he hasn't had to compete against any other agents. And so he was telling me that he didn't have a power pack yet. He hadn't ordered it, it wasn't here, and he had tried to find one and he couldn't. I said, well, look, man, we've got a couple with us that we brought for display. I said, I want you to take that one with you. And so I was like, don't worry, Tracy may try to fight you way out the door, so let me go tell her that you are authorized to take her beautiful sample power pack with you. So he left the San Antonio event a little early with Tracy's sample power pack that was the display for the event under his arm. And I guess he just reported in the chat that he got the listing. So I walked him over, told Tracy what we're doing. Awesome. We showed him the power pack to take. He left and he won that listing that was in competition.
Congratulations.
Because he had the power pack with him. So that's so awesome to hear. And again, glad he came to the event, glad I got to meet him, got to hear that story, and he took that sample power pack from our display and went out and won. And that's what it's all about. So awesome job, man. Great to hear that. Everybody go out there and crush it. Have a great week, and we'll see you back here next Monday or Friday on Real Estate First Friday.
Fantastic.